In terms of the sound of the record, then you mentioned the word maturity. Did the sound develop as well then, when you started writing this record?
I think it did. I don't know how or why. We didn't aim particularly to. We weren't thinking, does this sound mature, or it just. I think the skills that we developed from touring so much, like as musicians, we were a lot more confident and a lot better. We knew our instruments inside out, and so we could go to ideas quicker.
Yeah, we got to exactly. Yeah, we knew the shortcuts in a way. We could get to the sort of sound we wanted to achieve faster, I think.
Would that be a new case in a sense for each song, or did you have kind of an idea of what it collectively would sound like?
I think that having made one album already, we had a better understanding of when a song was finished and what would make a song sound better from its basic structure to its finished state. Probably in much the same way that, you know, when you're designing, if you set out to design a car for the first time, you've got to learn about all the things you need in a car, and then when you design your second car, you're like, okay, well there's this, 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 and this, and then what you're actually designing is what differentiates it from the first car. Whereas in our case, I think, you know, had a better idea of how to put songs together, how to enrich a song, and then so we were able to then concentrate on putting different finishes on them.
Would you then say these songs that ended up on the album are I think 13 best songs that you wrote, or were those the ones that kind of fitted together the best?
You mean for the second album?
Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Well, we didn't really drop any songs, did we?
No, I can't think of any songs which. There was one which we basically forgot about.
Which one was that?
The one we gave to Mike Clams.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And yeah, there's one we completely forgot about.
We forgot to work on it.
Yeah, and it's amazing.
Well, which one was that?
It's
Oh,
not.
sorry.
Yeah, it's no name. All it is it's basically just a riff.
Okay.
Just a little jam, and the only thing we have is an iPhone recording of it. And I think it'll probably end up on the third album. Like, it's really good. Apart from that, everything we wrote ended up on the album. Because we don't write that quickly. Like, I think it's not like we just bash stuff out and then we have loads of tracks to work with. Because if we're writing an album, we just write the album.
How long? What was kind of the time frame then that the album was written in? Because you say, well, most of the stuff was done after Gwil.
Some songs were from around the time of the first album, before the first album, that they were ideas that we had that we didn't have room for on the first album. Some songs were written on tour between, you know, after the first album, touring the first album, and some songs were written in the sessions. So we started in January last year. We got together and started to work intensely on the second album. You know, we were like, okay, this is the sessions, if you want, for want of a better word, the second album sessions. So that was really the time when the album was, I suppose, written and finished. Was from January till May 2013.
And did you need a specific place, or because you say you wrote some of it on the road, or ideas started forming on the road? But then, did you specifically need a time to kind of? We had a
space. We had a space that we rented. That was almost like our office. Okay. You know, it was not actually a music studio. It was just a kind of creative room with you know, enough room to set up the band stuff and a table and a sofa. It was a very nice place. You know, It was very quirky. It was full of odd little artifacts and knickknacks and things that belonged to this guy, and so we had that 7 days a week. Luca, yeah, he's a really weird guy, very nice guy though, so we you know, so that was like our office. So we'd come in every day, you know, about 10:30 or 11, and then we'd fuck around, get high, maybe play some music, go for lunch, come back, do the same thing again. And then, but you know, we were actually getting stuff done. Okay. So then we'd, you know, knock it on the head about 4 or 5 o'clock and probably go to the pub. Right. And we had some great parties in that place. Yeah. Really, really good parties.
I think the fact that it was so relaxed and we didn't have a time, there was no real time limit. I think that's why we got it done. If we'd have been going in there, being every day thinking we're only 20% through, like we need to crack on, it wouldn't have happened.
No.
I think it worked really well, and that's how we did it relatively quickly. you know, within 6 months, we pretty much wrote the album. So
was there any sense of pressure then that you had to follow up quickly, or that they're even from the label that they kind of said, well, you need to have some songs finished?
There was a bit of a weird thing with our American label, which has been quite widely discussed in the media. Well, the American label thought that they were not, you know, they listened to about 8 songs and were like, there's no singles here, there's no radio songs here, you know, which pissed us off.
Right.
Really pissed us off.
Yes, not what we wanted to hear.
No, no, pretty much the shittiest thing you can.
Yeah, as for a band that we don't write singles.
Yeah,
right.
You know, we used to come back and go, I don't know. It's like, fuck off.
It's not going to make sense.
But we're friends with them now. I'm sure I wouldn't mind them watching this and hearing me say that, because we were pissed off. But you know, generally speaking, no. I mean, our English label really kept their hands off, to be honest.
Okay.
I think they you know, and actually the head of our label came down to talk to us in the studio and gave us a really motivating talk.
It was the best things I've ever heard.
Yeah, exactly. It was like, I should have recorded it, because it was an extremely inspiring, about 10-minute speech he made to us that was just like, you know, up till then I think we'd always been like, oh yeah, you know, Corder, he's a cool guy. But then he came down to the studio and just totally made us feel amazing, and we were like, that's why he's the head of the label.
Okay, finally, because my time is almost up. Well, the album shot to #1 in the UK. I came in. Where were you?
Staggered to #1.
Where were you when you heard it, and what kind of went through your head?
I think we were in Dublin Airport.
Yeah, our manager heard. I think we knew that it was around that time, and our manager told us at the airport. And then we went back to London, and we had like a little gathering of our label and people that work with us and our agents, things like that, friends, family. And we were really tired. Remember, like really tired.
Yeah.
And there were like champagne and stuff going on. I was just sat there like.
I was like, at what point would it not be rude for me to leave?
Yeah. Well, we haven't been home for ages.
No.
Well, because you say we don't write singles. So are these kind of accolades or these chart positions? Are they in your mind? Do they?
It's cool, but I think actually I said at the time, and I still believe now, that chart positions is an achievement. Almost as maybe more for the label than it is for the band. It's about the marketing, you know. The album was well marketed, and that's an achievement for the label to get the album to #1. You know, if we'd been left in charge of the marketing, it wouldn't have gone to #1, even if it was the best album ever written, which it is.
Yeah, they worked really hard. Yeah, that was their job. That's what they get paid to do. We didn't do anything. We wrote the album. And I mean, and then it's #1. God knows what it is now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, it's not the kind of music which does well without help.
Yeah, yeah. It was a solid campaign, and they really did well.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Thanks.
Thank you.